The Black Car. In the small town of Millfield, there was a legend that had been circulating for years about a mysterious black car that would appear out of nowhere and then vanish just as quickly. Some said that it was a ghost car, while others believed it was driven by a wealthy recluse who lived in the hills outside of town. Despite the rumors, no one had ever seen the driver of the car or knew where it came from. One day, a young woman named Laura was driving home from work when she saw the black car for the first time. It was parked on the side of the road, and as she drove past it, she couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The car was sleek and shiny, but there was something ominous about it that sent shivers down her spine. As she continued down the road, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being followed. She looked in her rear-view mirror, but all she could see was the black car, which seemed to be gaining on her. Laura tried to speed up, but the car stayed right on her trail, following her every turn and twist. Eventually, Laura pulled into her driveway and jumped out of her car, heart pounding in her chest. She watched in terror as the black car drove past her house, disappearing into the night. She tried to forget about the incident, but she couldn't shake the feeling that the car was still out there, watching her every move. Over the next few weeks, Laura saw the black car several more times. It would appear out of nowhere, following her down the road, and then vanish just as quickly. She tried to tell her friends and family about it, but no one believed her. They thought she was just imagining things or trying to get attention. But Laura knew the truth. There was something sinister about the black car, and she was determined to uncover its secrets. She spent hours researching online, trying to find any information she could about the car or its driver. But all she found were more rumors and speculation. One night, as she was driving home from work, the black car appeared once again. This time, it pulled up alongside her, and Laura could see the driver inside. He was an older man, with a stern expression and piercing blue eyes. Laura tried to look away, but she couldn't help but feel like he was staring right at her. Suddenly, the man rolled down his window and spoke to her. "You've been following me for weeks," he said, his voice low and menacing. "Why do you keep stalking me?" Laura was taken aback. "I haven't been following you," she said, her voice shaking. "It's you who's been following me." The man just chuckled. "Is that what you believe?" he said. "Well, I'm afraid you're wrong. I have been watching you for some time now, Miss Laura. You're a very interesting woman, and I think we could be of great use to each other." Laura was terrified, but she didn't know what else to do. She listened as the man explained his plan to her. He was a wealthy businessman who was looking for a partner to help him with his latest venture. It was a risky investment, but he was convinced that with her skills and expertise, they could make a fortune together. At first, Laura was skeptical. She didn't know anything about business, and she didn't trust this mysterious man in the black car. But as he continued to walk, she began to see the potential in his plan. It was risky, but if it worked, they could make more money than she had ever dreamed of. In the end, Laura agreed to team up with the man in the black car. They worked together tirelessly. Over the next few months, pouring all of their time and energy into the business venture, they traveled the country meeting with investors and pitching their idea to anyone who would listen. Despite the risks, the venture paid off. Within a year, they had made millions of dollars and had become one of the most successful business partnerships in the country. Laura had never felt so alive or so successful. But as their success grew, so did the tension between Laura and the man in the black car. He became more and more controlling, demanding that she devote all of her time to the business and pushing her to take even greater risks. Laura began to feel trapped, like she was in over her head. One night, as they were driving home from a meeting, the man in the black car pulled over to the side of the road. "Laura," he said, turning to face her, "I want you to know that I value your contribution to our partnership. But I need you to understand that there are certain risks that come with success. And if you're not willing to take those risks, then I am afraid I'll have to find someone else who is." Laura knew what he meant. He was threatening to cut her out of the business if she didn't do exactly what he wanted. She was terrified, but she also knew that she couldn't keep living her life in fear. She looked at the man in the black car and took a deep breath. "I'm sorry," she said, "but I can't do this anymore. I'm not willing to risk everything just for the money." The man just laughed. "You're making a mistake," he said. "You'll regret this decision for the rest of your life." But Laura didn't care. She knew that she had to leave no matter the cost. She opened the car door and stepped out into the night, watching as the man in the black car drove off into the distance. For months after that night, Laura lived in fear. She was worried that the man in the black car would come after her, or that she would be targeted by some other unknown force. But as time went on, she began to feel more and more confident. She had taken a risk and stood up for herself, and she had survived. Years later, as Laura sat in her comfortable home, surrounded by family and friends, she couldn't help but think back on that mysterious black car. It had been the catalyst for her success, but it had also been the thing that had almost destroyed her. She had learned a valuable lesson, that success was worth nothing if it came at the cost of her own happiness and well-being. And so she sat there, grateful for the life she had built, but also mindful of the dangers that lurked just beyond the horizon. She knew that the world was full of mystery and danger, but she also knew that she was strong enough to face it head on, no matter what form it might take. The end. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We'll see you in the next one.